so glad that you're here. No, really, I am. This is one of my journals, and in today's journal entry, I just want to share with you guys kind of basically what I was feeling, what I am currently processing. So I wrote, you need so many coping skills, like so many. And what I mean by that is, like, as an adult in this society, you need a lot of coping skills because, like, stuff is going to happen, and sometimes, like, it might not make any sense, and you might sit around wondering, like, why is this happening? Or here's another thing. I think that a lot of people have been able to gain insights from things like television shows or movies, and so they have these beliefs like all social interactions work like this because I saw it on a television show, I saw it on an animated cartoon, I saw it wherever, right? And that's not real life, and that's not your life. This is my life. This is my channel. All of the things I talk about here are in relation to my perspectives. They're not formed by someone else, right? I've said this before, but it's another one of the reasons I appreciate having Candace Owens and her perspective, because it's like different, right? And so many people's opinions are formed, they're just the same, like carbon copies of the same shit. And the world is different. It's different. And I think that some things have been eye-opening for some people because they have gotten, a front row seat to how dangerous things are, like Ukraine, or, the Buffalo shooting, or the Uvalde, whatever, the Texas shooting. Those are things that happen in real life. But there's like a ton of other shit that happens in real life too. This is why, like, there's that book, or what is it, that essay where the woman, she says, like, this is the danger of a single story. Like, if you only listen to one perspective or one type of person or one experience, you're going to have this, like, world view that all the things are like that. And I think one of the first videos I ever filmed for this channel, it had to be like 3 years ago. It wasn't that I wasn't afraid to talk. It wasn't that I didn't have a perspective, but it really seemed like no one could understand my worldview. Like, at the time, the only person who I heard talking even kind of like me was my friend Camille. And it was just like we would have these conversations back and forth with each other, and things it would help us make sense of, like, the world that we see now. Now there's quite a lot of people who are bringing logic. I feel like everybody from, like, the Daily Wire is kind of bringing some logic to this. Bill Maher has been, explaining stuff for a while. But there's quite a lot of others who just, things aren't registering, and I don't know what I will say, and that's the reason that I wanted to film this video today. I just wanted to explain that you need to have so many skills, like coping skills as an adult. And I guess I wish more people would have, like, talked to me about that when I was, like, younger, basically, because since they didn't, I don't know, I didn't realize that, like, I was supposed to, like, know all this stuff, like, I like, a lot of shit I just didn't know. And, like, so the reason that I brought the journal out, and you can kind of see some of the stuff that I wrote, But journaling is one technique. It's like a skill that you can use to like process your feelings about stuff. It's just one of the techniques, skills that you can use to unpack stuff. And I would say if you're ever at a point where, you know, maybe things are difficult, maybe there's some stuff that you don't understand, that's another reason I literally thought about this as I was writing. And I'm like, I'm going to film right here. And the reason that I'm going to film right here is because I want you to see kind of like the way that I process, right? So I came out, I'm sitting by the water, I have my journal, I have these thoughts in my head about these experiences that are happening in my life, that I like wrote about like some of the things that I feel about them. And I'm just kind of like thinking about it, because like I'm actually not sure, you know, well actually I am pretty sure about what I want my next move to be. Like I'm pretty serious about moving to Germany, and I feel like quite a lot of the steps that I've taken are in that direction, from, you know, like searching through artist residencies and looking up programs and, you know, apartment hunting, like all of the things, right? All of the adult things that you do to move. But I remember, I think it had to be like 2019. That was a really challenging year for me, and I didn't have any therapy at the time, and I didn't have like, I had a support system, but I didn't know how to use the support system that I had. So I was basically just struggling in silence and kind of like spiraling in quite a lot of ways. And I guess I'm making this video because maybe there's someone else who's like in that place, like they're in a really rough patch, or maybe they're feeling some like really intense emotions, and that's okay. If you feel things like anger, I don't know, grief, or really any of the like negative feelings on the feelings wheel, like that's okay. Those feelings are normal. Everyone feels those feelings. One of the ways that you can deal with that is by like taking a walk, having a meal, talking to a friend or a trusted loved one or a therapist about those feelings and why you feel that way. And the person doesn't really have to understand. They don't really have to agree, but it is useful if the person that you're talking to understands. This is why sometimes it's useful to really talk to like a licensed professional about intense emotions, at least at one point in your life. So then you have someone who can basically like listen to something, an experience that's a little bit more challenging than something that they might not be going through, the thing that you're going through, but they can like listen to the problem and then they can say like, oh, okay, like I see how that could be difficult. And that's like a thing, right? Like, but I feel like unfortunately a lot of people are stuck in this like, how do you say, like a bubble maybe, where like no one has ever had access to any sort of like empathy or compassion. And it's almost like when a person is struggling, a lot of people around them do things like laugh or criticize or judge, which is just not helpful. It's not helpful at all. Like, right, when someone is feeling intense emotions, what they need is like empathy. And when you don't have that, and I thought a lot about, you know, that year and what I took away from it. It made me feel very sorry for, you know, that community in which I was in at the time, because there were other people who knew that I was struggling, and they knew like the ways in which I was struggling. And I just, in my own perspective, I felt like if I knew that someone was going through that, I would never treat them that way. I wouldn't like ignore it or pretend like I didn't care, but that's how some people are. And I think that I think that it's kind of strange, right? Because even though we haven't raised like a society or like a generation of people who are empathetic, all of a sudden we're expecting to have people who are empathetic. This is why it's hella weird to me to like watch everyone get on television and cry and shit about the mass shootings and stuff. It's like they've trained everyone to love violence. Like all of the kids play all the killing games all day on the what do you call it? The video games. All of them are about like death and killing, murdering women and prostitutes and OnlyFans. Like this is what the society is. Like why are we surprised that no one you know what I mean? To me it's really strange. It would be different if like we were living in a society where like I don't know, everyone had access to like therapy and adults were like living these meaningful lives and it wasn't full of like active racists and domestic terrorists and shit. But like it's just like, come on, like that's not where we are. So like given the fact that I personally don't think that it's going to get any better here, I want to leave something for, you know, some other girl who one day is going to come find this and then be like, wow, this is what Olivia did. Like, even amongst all of the madness, like, I'm not trying to, oh my God, that's a huge dog. I'm not trying to change, that's a huge dog. I'm not trying to change anything. I don't think I have the ability to do that. But what I can do is I can say, like, even amongst all the madness, you can process these can be negative feelings, positive feelings, feelings of contentment, happy feelings. They can be like, I don't know, you could literally just talk about whatever meal that you have, which is why for the last week I've just been posting just meal, they're not even meal chats, what's a good way to say it, like meal videos that are like, I went and had this meal. That's what I did. And actually, I'm going to go have another meal now. It's dinner time for me. So I'm going to go find some dinner. I have quite a lot of Zoom meetings tomorrow, so I will start to prepare for those. And yeah. This has kind of been the episode about processing. Because I just feel like, you know, the 2019 version of Olivia definitely would not have had any skills to be able to talk through and process what was going on. And also, there just weren't many examples of women, specifically like Black women, who were just out processing feelings, managing emotions, doing things that are healthy for themselves and others. Okay, and I just want to be that for someone. I don't know who, but I feel like one day, you know, the community that I want to find this channel will find it. And when that day comes, man, I'm really excited. I guess that's my point. I can't wait until that day comes. That will be a very happy day for me. And I think for that person who wanted to find the video, to find it. Maybe another reason, I want to be clear, another reason that I haven't deleted any videos. Like, some of the videos, you guys are probably looking at them like, these are mad. This person is all over the place. Well, I want to show you guys the growth of the channel, right? The first year of me living in my apartment was madness. You guys saw the mail thief. That was insane. Who goes around stealing shit from mailboxes? How do you even I have no answers for that. I don't know how it happened, but it happened, okay? Or like the stalker, the crackhead. I mean, it's just these characters I have not made up. like, this is literally welcome to the drama of Olivia's life. Just so many things. And that's only this year. And this year has been better than, say, 2019. Okay. One day soon, the days are coming. I'm going to tell you guys the story of 2019. And man, grab your tub of popcorn, because that's one story that you don't want to miss.